What we see happening is a shift from everybody learning about mobility to everybody's doing mobility, and they're getting off of the bench and onto the field. And that comes, I think, most notably, and the thing that has me most excited is in shifting from just preparing the infrastructure. There's been a lot of talk about, does the enterprise accommodate these mobile devices, and how do we have to change our IT and our security and blah, 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 all that kind of infrastructure change. A lot of that we've been working, and they're starting to make progress on that. Not everybody is yet, but there's a lot of progress there. And what it allows them to do is get freed to start to look at the real mission applications of mobility. So I really think over the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to stop hearing just about organizations that have enabled email and calendar mobile access inside their enterprise, and more examples where they have enabled their mission workers to be more productive, to add more value in a way that leverages the mobile technologies rather than just using them as an alternative way of doing what they were doing before. Well, for a long time, the mobility discussion was very much a small number. I like to think of folks like us yelling into the wind, we got to do this, we got to do this. And now everybody's aware this is happening, and everybody's coming out of the woodwork. So it's as though the dam has broken, and that means not only projects all over the enterprise starting up without the oversight maybe of IT, but also the technology and vendor community inventing all kinds of extraordinary things. And so I think maybe one of the biggest challenges is how overwhelming that can be for the government IT leader to understand what to do next. When there was just a platform or two and a system or two to access, maybe it was a little bit more straightforward, but now the number of devices, the number of different platforms, the number of different architectures for building applications, the platforms that don't yet exist that are just being talked about, the number of peripheral devices that are coming out, all of those things can, I think, become a little daunting. And the real risk, I guess, is that paralyzes folks and keeps them from getting going, and it has them waiting for everything to be perfect before they get started, and that will only create delay. It does not, in fact, I don't think that waiting does not get you any closer to perfection. Perfection is sort of always out there, and if you wait for it before you get started, you'll be too late. Get going. Not waiting for every possible scenario that you can consider to have hundreds of pages of planning documents that prove that no decision you make can be questioned in any way is what will stagnate organizations. In fact, what we've seen where the organizations have been most successful is those that have leaned in a bit. And I don't mean riding against the guardrails of security or cost or anything. They're doing things on the straight and narrow, but they are putting their toe in the water, and they're starting small and showing some success, and not necessarily waiting for all the questions to be answered. They'll discover the answer to those questions along the way. And there are plenty of options in every enterprise. There are plenty of target applications that are appropriate for getting started. I'm not talking about experimenting with mission-critical data or highly classified data. Clearly those need a more robust answer, but we have all sorts of solutions, either internal or external facing, that are good candidates for testing the water, getting started. Try something. If it doesn't work, it's fine. It was small, and you learn from it and move on. So we're very much about starting projects small, learning from them, adding to them, using them to define a strategy for how to move forward, failing fast and not being afraid of that, And mobility lends itself so much to those kinds of strategies. I would make that recommendation in any kind of technology and IT innovation, but mobility really lends itself to that because it's so easy to get some powerful capability implemented quickly. And so I guess it's a long-winded way of saying that my primary advice would be to not overthink every possibility and get started, start small in a focused way with lots of little pilots, and you'll discover the vision for where you want to take the whole enterprise as it unfolds.